Hello. I am back for another stimulus update. Come on in. This is Shante Arati. Again, if you don't already know me, I'm coming on here to talk about the Paycheck Protection Program, and specifically as it relates to those who have applied and getting your loan forgiven. So if you don't know, the Paycheck Protection Program is administered by the SBA. It is a program that was made available to small business owners through the CARES Act to help provide relief to those small businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19. So again, this is the Paycheck Protection Program loan forgiveness application discussion. Information is in the description, including the link to the application. So please do like this, share it. And again, if you have any questions, please do drop them in the comment section. And I, as always, will circle back to answer any questions that you may have. So again, it is important to understand and get clarification that this is the forgivable loan program. This is different than the economic injury disaster loan. So there have been some entrepreneurs and small business owners that have been confused between the two. This is the forgivable loan. This means that you have an opportunity to get this loan 100% forgiven, which means what? It's free money if you meet the criteria, if you follow the instructions and submit all of the relevant information. So as usual, I always highly recommend that you keep your documentation organized. So if you are if you have already applied for the Paycheck Protection Program, please let me know in the comments if you have already applied, if you've been approved, if you've gotten your money. Let me know where you're at in that. If you've been denied, I've always said before, if you've been denied, you can apply elsewhere. So don't let a denial be the end of it, because some of these larger banks were denying the small business owners that needed it. So I've already provided information in prior videos that you can go to PayPal, you can go to Intuit, you can go to Square, go to your smaller banks, any banking institution, your community banks. We're giving special funding to help small business, minority business, women-owned business. So you still have time to apply for this program. There are still billions of dollars available, whether or not you have employees. So that's another misunderstanding, that you have to have employees to apply for these programs. That is not true. You can be a solopreneur and apply for this program and receive funding, right? And a forgivable loan. You just have to assess if it's the right program for you, because there's a number of programs, as I have mentioned in the past. So again, this is for the forgivable loan application. You want to make sure too, so when you apply, that you have all of your information, put it on the cloud, whether you have Google Drive, OneDrive, somewhere where you can go back and track it. Make sure that you're tracking all your financial records. If this is a payroll, this is a program to really help you sustain, retain your payroll, right? So your employees, this is so you're able to put people back to work. That is the benefit and the purpose of this particular program, for which they have funded over $600 billion, dollars towards this program. Okay, so some of the things that you need to know, just to be aware of, again, if you have your application, keep that information. Your legal name is always any DBAs that you are operating under, that you have put on your PPP application. Make sure you have your Paycheck Protection Program application readily available. So make sure you have a copy of the application, your loan number, your lender number. So whoever your lender is that approved your loan, that funded the loan, make sure you have their number. Make sure that you also track your employees, your payroll, meaning that you have to track the number of employees that you had at the time of application, and be able to not only track it, but be able to record and provide to them where your numbers were as far as your employees at the time you apply, and where the number of employees are at the time that you are submitting your application to have your loan forgiven. Okay, so that is going to be important. That's if you have employees. If it's just you, you're an employee of one, like I said before. So you're reporting yourself as an employee, right, at the time you applied, and yourself as the employee at the time that you're applying for your forgiveness. Okay. So this is really going to be important, because this is to be forgiven. And if you aren't, if you don't know, that your 75% of your loan has to go towards payroll. So if that's paying yourself as a solopreneur, or paying your employees that you have W-2 employees, that you're paying for them to be on payroll, right? So that they don't have to be on unemployment, that they are being paid by you, by your company. Okay. So I just wanted to make that clear. So regardless if you have employees, you can account for your payroll, your employees at the time that you applied, and at the time that you are having your loan or requesting to have your loan forgiven. Okay. You also need to know what your PPP distribution date is. So there's a date that you applied, and there's a date that your funds were actually distributed to you. Please keep record of that date, okay? Because you will need to provide that as well. I have referenced before that there are a number of different programs, right? So I mentioned the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. What you're going to have to do, okay? So if for those of you all, you apply for PPP, you got your funding, but you also apply for the EIDL loan and grant, you're going to have to report what you received if you received the grant. And if you applied when they opened the first time the portal, then you should have gotten a grant. And I've talked about that in my earlier live. If you missed that and you didn't get your grant and you deserve to get your grant, then you need to check out that live video. Check the timeline for that, or my YouTube channel, or our Facebook page at She Boss Talk. Okay. But if you got the grant or you got the loan, you have to report that money, because again, I said they don't want the double dipping. And it's not a problem. You got the advance, you're supposed to get it, but that will be offset by the funds you get from the Paycheck Protection Program. It was always set up that way, and you're not losing any money. Okay. So it's just set up that once you get the advance, then it will be offset by your Paycheck Protection Program funds. Okay. So you do need to report that. You will need to know the amount of the advance. You will need to know your application number. Okay. And the only way you really know your application number is you should have screenshotted it at the time you apply for your EIDL loan and grant. If you did not, the SBA wasn't sending any confirmation emails. So if you did not screenshot it, I would recommend that you call the SBA and see if they have record of you in their file. That's going to be hard if you don't have record that you applied and you don't have the application number. So you would need to know the advance, how much you were advanced. And again, right now, how the SBA is treating it is that they would have advanced you $1,000 per employee. So just think about how many, what the grant did they give you? Up to $10,000. So if you had 10 employees, they gave you 10,000. You're going to report that. Okay. You're going to also, there's going to be a space that you're going to have to provide your payroll schedule. You're going to have to identify your cover period, because you know there's an 8-week period. There are discussions about changing that 8-week covered period. So stay tuned for that. There's no confirmation on that yet, but there are going to be changes just because of the enormous requests from small business and entrepreneurs that have been having difficulty with this program, okay? And wanting to make sure that they get their loan forgiven, want to make sure that they can utilize the money for where they need it in their business. So you can expect some changes. There have been changes already announced. But just based on the many small business owners that have been having challenges, they're going to be initiating some additional changes. So look forward to that. And as always, you know that they're going to be asking you for your payroll costs. So we know to have your loan 100% forgiven, 75% of your loan. So if you took out $100,000, 75% is $75,000 needs to have gone towards payroll. So you have to be able to demonstrate that via calculation, right? Be able to show them via your payroll. So you need to keep records. If you have an accountant, you need to be working with your accountant, and you do need to be working with your bank. Keep in contact with them. Let them know what's going on. You know, it's so important to keep those lines of communication open, okay? But you're going to have to report that. So I would say also, if you don't have a separate bank account, that you're utilizing business bank account for your Paycheck Protection Program funds, I highly recommend that you do so. So everything is there, and you can easily keep track of it, and it's not getting lost or commingled with other business transactions and activities, okay? So again, I would recommend that you get a separate bank account. Just open up a different one. If you already have one, just designate it for the Paycheck Protection Program, okay? And then just make sure, again, that you account for your payroll costs. You're going to have to do those calculations when you submit it, and give all of those different details that you're going to have already outlined in your borrower's agreement. Okay, so that's going to make the process easier for you, because you already have that information. You're just going to be plugging in the numbers from the loan amounts that you have, but you need to make sure that you're keeping those records. Okay, so again, this is for those who have applied or intend to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program, and what you need to do to have your loan forgiven. So the first step is to apply. You apply, you utilize the funds. 75% goes to payroll, 25% goes to other costs that are non-payroll related, like your mortgage, your rent, your interest, your utilities, those types of things. Keep track of what money is going where, what went to the 25%, what went to the 75%, and then be ready to document that and submit that information with your application, okay, when you submit it for loan forgiveness, okay? So again, that's for the PPP program, forgivable loan, and how to apply for the forgiveness. If you have not applied, I also have the link here in the description on going to the SBA website, and they will show you how to apply. I already said that there's several lenders that's available. Please use the recommended SBA lenders, not random lenders that may be trying to pursue you or get your money. Know that they are authorized. First, go to your bank. If your bank denies you, go somewhere else. Okay, there are community banks, smaller banks that are doing a better job at approving these loans than the larger banks are. So I highly recommend that you utilize them. Or again, you have Cabbage, you have PayPal, you have Square, Intuit are all options available for you to apply for these funds. And do apply for what you qualify for. Assess your situation, and if you feel like this is a great program for you that will help you be able to survive and thrive through this time, I highly recommend that you apply for this or one of the other programs. There's also the pandemic unemployment. That may be a better option for you, just depending on where you are in your business and your revenues and your employees. If you are a solopreneur, and you netted 100,000 anywhere, if you netted 100,000 last year, that is over $20,000 that you can get for free as a solopreneur from the Paycheck Protection Program. So that is serious money that I wouldn't leave on the table. So you understand, you can't get anything you don't apply for. So just assess your situation. Is this a program that you should apply for? And go after it. Don't leave money on the table, ladies. Don't leave money on the table. So I provide you this information, but I can't go make you apply. Again, just assess your situation and see which one is best for you. But this is one of many that are out there. There are other grants that are out there, several of them that pop up every single day. Just check, like I said, you could check on our page. Follow me. I share them all the time. Check with your county, your city, and your state. They roll them out all the time. Again, if you have any questions, please do drop them in the comments. Please do share out this post. Hit the love button. So that has been my update for today. I will circle back and answer any questions that you may have. Until then, continue to have a great day. Continue to be blessed, be safe, and in good health. Talk to you later. Bye.